Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video number 5 in the 1913 Duesenberg Cyclekart build series. So far we've made some great progress. We got the frame pretty well done, got the motor mount figured out. Today we're going to tackle the disc brake mount. Should be fairly simple, but first I'm going to show you what parts I bought, where I got these, and why I got them. So I'll turn the camera around now and show you that. Okay, here are the disc brake parts. MCP, hydraulic master cylinder. Got the disc with the mount and the caliper. This thing is huge, 3 inches wide, about 1 inch deep on the pistons, or the pucks are huge. This is like a small car brake caliper. These bolts that came with it, this comes unassembled. These are a little short in my opinion. They barely catch the nylock part, so I'm going to get ones maybe 1/4 inch longer, so make sure those don't loosen up. And I bought the mount that goes with it. So this mount, it looks like it's aluminum. There's mount holes here, and these are the adjusters. This is the non-shimmed type. These are adjustable. I guess these bolt holes you can adjust your puck in and out. So these go on here. Mounts go through here. You need a 4-inch bolt, which this is a little short. And then you can modify this to suit. So this might need to be modified, a cut down here a little bit, to get a bolt over here to mount it. We'll have to figure that out right now. So we'll see how that goes. Any rate, that's coming along pretty good. We'll get this thing mounted up. Comes with the line, comes with the fluid. This is the mount I'm going to use. It's just a piece of angle iron. Here is the invoice. So this is BMI Karts. That's where we got this. Now this is kind of a racing quality. My dad wanted a really good brake set. He looked at a couple different ones online. This is the one he came up with. That's the part number and the prices. This is for something else. Don't worry about this spacer thing. But this is what the kit looks like online. Disregard my notes on here. This is the non-shimmed version. There's one that requires shims. So this would be easier according to the people at the tech line. They were pretty helpful. Here's the information on it. You need to know what your axle size, which is in our case is 1 inch. 1 inch rotor for the 1 inch axle. There are cheaper versions like this one right here. This is kind of what is on my other cart, and it works fine. Or something similar to that. But the one I got leaks a little bit, so I didn't want to have the same problem with my dad's set, so we went with this little higher quality one. So we're going to put the axle in the chassis now and see how we can mount this up. Okay, this is what I'm mocking up. I've got the angle iron clamped to the frame, and I've got the caliper sitting on top of the rotor, and it's clamped to the frame. Got a couple holes to drill. I'm going to space this first to make sure that there's enough room at this point right here, so that it doesn't ride on there. I'm worried, a little concerned about the lines, because these lines are going to come off of here, and the seat's going to go right here. So the seat's going to be right about here. I'm a little concerned. There's about 2 inches of clearance for the lines. One other thing to mention, you want the bleeder valves to be up. At least I think you do, and that's the way I've always been taught to do it. So contemplating this. I got to find out actually if I can convert this to a solid line. I'm not real happy with those plastic lines. I'd prefer there to be solid lines on here, or at least maybe braided lines. Anyway, so making progress. Okay, well, complete and total redesign. Did away with the angle iron piece. That just wasn't going to work. It was too close to the seat. So I decided to put the plate, this fabricated plate, this is 1/4 inch steel plate. I'm going to weld that to this cross member. Got the bolts through here for the kind of prefab bracket that comes with the set, or the optional piece. And I've got it, I think this is probably the way it's designed to be done. Anyway, this looks pretty good. The bleeder valves are above it, just barely. I figure when we bleed it, we can always tilt the back end up, or I can unhook these and stand them up. I did find out I can get braided lines from MPC, and or I can probably just get hard lines as well, or a combination. I think it'll be long-term a better deal to do that. So use those instead of these little vinyl. These things are just, I don't know, maybe that's okay for the racing guys. Replace this stuff all the time, but I don't want this stuff to break and have to be redone, because it's going to be inside body work or inside kind of hidden away. So anyway, this is ready to weld. So I'm going to go ahead and weld this bracket on. I'm going to tack it on while this is here and protect it from getting weld spatter on it, on the brake especially. Keep everything kind of in place. And it doesn't really affect anything. The axle slides in and out. The sprocket can be put on and off. No problem there. Motor fits just fine. So yeah, that was a pretty good solution. So I'm going to walk around the other side and see kind of how that looks. And I did space this away a little bit up here. You want to make sure you've got some clearance at the top so this doesn't rub your housing. And you can see maybe you can see the little pucks and the top of the rotor just about flush right there. I just used a little piece of aluminum to slide in there. In fact, where'd that little piece of aluminum go? Oh, where did it go? It vanished off my work. Oh, here it is. So I just slide this little piece of aluminum in here just to make sure that we've got adequate clearance at the top, so there's enough room for the thing to move so it doesn't impact or it doesn't touch this. Anyway, that's the idea. So we'll weld this thing up now. Okay, so there's the bracket welded in. It's still pretty hot. I'm gonna take the flapper disc and clean up this little bit of splatter here. That 1/4 inch thick steel takes a bit of time to weld. Just got to be plenty hot and work it in there. This weld turned out pretty good. This weld down here, I don't know, kind of ugly, but it seemed to get plenty hot. I think it's plenty well attached. It's gonna be just fine. It's welded underneath and on the sides as well. I'm gonna show you what that looks like real quick. On the other side here, the weld down on the side and there and across the bottom as well. I left it a little proud at the bottom so you have a little something to weld to. It makes it a little bit easier and stronger, hopefully. I think that'll work pretty well. If we have a little issue with it, we can always gusset it a little bit here. I don't think it's going to rock because the motion is going to be this direction. So that's it for that phase. So next thing to talk about is nuts and bolts. So earlier I mentioned the nuts and bolts that came with this kit. These are those. They're 3/4 inch long by 3/8 inch. I'm not sure these are grade 5. Yeah, they might be grade 5. Anyway, I bought new grade 5 bolts for all of this to make them the right length. For the rotor, these are a little 1/4 inch longer, so they go past the nylocks. Previous to that, they just barely contacted the nylock. I figure the purpose of the nylock is to secure the nut, or the bolt rather, so that's what we did on that. So that is now secure with new grade 8 hardware, 3/8 by 1 inch. The long bolts that go for the MPC caliper didn't come with any bolts because maybe it offered them, but 4 inch seems to work pretty good. These are 3/8 inch by 4 inch. I put washers on here and it comes up pretty much right to the end of the nylock, which is fine. And then the small ones here, these are 3/8 by 1 also. Or excuse me, oh, my mistake. I'm sorry. The ones on here are 5/16. My mistake. These are 5/16 by 1 is what's on the disc. These are 3/8 by 1 is what is on the caliper mount. Big heavy bolts are all 5/8. Or excuse me, 3/8. I'm getting a little punch drunk here from working out here in the heat. It's 82 degrees today. It's a warm day in Phoenix. That's a joke. So this is pretty much ready to mount. Let's let this cool down, then I'll put it all back together, kind of show you what the end product looks like without all those brackets and stuff in the way. And that'll be pretty close to the end of this video. Okay, so there's the brake caliper and the mount all installed on the disc. These aren't tight right down here, but they're just there for now. But it all lines up really, really well. It's nice and square and straight. Disc is going to have plenty of clearance. I'll mention it now. I'll probably mention it later, but you're going to use locking collars on both sides of the disc, both sides of your sprocket. The purpose for that is there's a lot of side loading going on. You don't want these things to slide around. You're also going to use them on the outside here by your bearings and then over by your wheels. You're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. You need about eight of these things to do it properly. Probably 7 if you have one of the wheels is not keyed on the outside. But if you're keying both wheels, you'll need 8 of these things. So that is that. Okay, so I'm going to call that the end of video number 5. We got the disc brake, caliper, and disc all mounted up and mocked up and ready to go. Thing next to do for that is probably source some better lines, some braided lines or some hard lines. Possibly a combination of both, kind of like a car would have flexible lines at the connection and then rigid lines to the front. Thinking that might be what we do. We'll have to see what's available to fit this size. It's kind of a smaller, I don't know exactly what size it is. I'll have to do some research on that, but that's another topic for another day. So we fixed the bolts, got the bolts all fixed up, got this thing mounted. I think that's going to work pretty well. The next video, we'll turn our attention to maybe the front end. I'll have to figure out what we're going to do next. Either the front end or the floor. Those two things kind of have to be done next, and we'll figure out the steering and all that kind of jazz. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. If you like the video and we're learning something, please subscribe. Ask questions on Facebook and or YouTube, and happy to help out other cycle car builders. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.